All right, where we left off the other day, um, we have got this area here. Um, we were separating these legs and getting kind of grow here, which we're going to continue. Now, this is probably the hardest part of it more than anything in the world, is getting this where these legs can be separated. And you have to kind of dig in. Now, like I said, if you have a bandsaw, a coping saw, whatever it is, then you don't really have to do this. You can basically um, do this, separate them with a saw or whatever. But when you have, I'm just trying to show you how you can do this if you don't have a saw. A lot of people write me and tell me they don't have access to saws, and I understand that. I understand what they're dealing with. I didn't myself at first. Okay, if you see we're separate. Let me turn her a little bit like this. We're separating those legs. And shaping those legs, because of course they're still a little bit too big, as we come to refer to. And we take a little bit more, but you have to do it gradually at a time. And we're separating those legs quite a bit, in other words, as we go through it. Okay? You have to just kind of work it out. We've got them separated pretty good. But we need to separate this in here a little bit more. And basically, folks, it's just taking your knife and cutting it out. A little bit at a time, taking V cuts from each side. That's why a bandsaw is such a great thing to have, because I mean you can do a lot of, you can get rid of a lot of waste. I'm going to move this camera just a little bit more this way. You can get rid of a lot of waste that you don't have to fight with later on in life, or later on with the piece that you're doing. All right. Be careful of your hands. Okay, we're already through here. But be very, very careful when you do this, because it does, you do have to take a lot of wood out. Like that. All right. Now we're going to go back to that a little bit, but let's concentrate a little bit now on our body. We're just going to kind of put our hands in our pockets here. We're not going to go to tremendous lengths. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to come down and we're going to, from that side, we're going to make a pretty heavy cut in here. There we go, just like that. We come around here. And we slowly begin to make our cuts in here. Just kind of like that. And we're going to bring this further back. There we go. Into the depth department. And let's go to the other hand here. And let's come down. Let's come forward. Come out. And then come straight down with our piece just as well. Now we can do several things. I'm just going to go ahead and put his hands in his pockets. Just because I want to. We've done hands before. We've done things before. Okay. But for this particular piece, we're just going to put his hands in his pockets. In such a way. Okay, and then we always make the arm bigger, and then we begin to come back with the arm itself. Making the longer stroke cuts to give us our piece that we have here. And then coming up here and separating the arms from the head. Okay, do we see that? Separating the arms from the head. See that? Just like that. Okay. Now, starting to look more like a person, starting to look more like a, you know, like a figure. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and concentrate on our head. Now, I want to bring the hat somewhere around in this area, which is probably about a ½ inch. Down. Okay. Somewhere around in that area, in other words. And let's okay, let me explain to you what I'm going to do here. We're going to go ahead and separate our hat from our head, which simply entails us doing this, in other words. Just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to bring the hat down further. In other words, where it fits more toward the back of the head, like that. Because a hat just doesn't fit on top of your head. A hat fits, and all I'm doing is going around, just separating this hat from the head. See, just like that. And if it's a little bit too much, I can just cut back on it. In other words, see? Just like that. Alright? Now let's go ahead and make our face a little bit like an egg. Kind of coming down like that. And removing particles away from the head that we need to. Okay, what we have here now the hat, we're going to kind of just come up here and just shape it a little bit at the top, okay? We're just going to kind of shape it. We want it square in a way, but we want it also to be, we don't want it totally square, okay? Because the way this hat fits. Let's go ahead just like that, because that's how I eventually make my nose and everything like that. Okay. Alright, we're slowly but surely working our figure to the way we want it. Alright? Now, on the hat, once again, we want to kind of, we don't want to round it, but we want to sort of round, because what we're going to do, it's a little sailor's hat, a little captain's hat, is we want to come to the bottom of this hat and we want to draw a line that goes down around the hat, okay, and then comes back up and joins with it over here. Just drawing, see how that is? We're just drawing a little bit, because what we're going to do is that's going to kind of be the brim of the hat, and this is going to be the top of it. So we need to be careful now, but we're going to cut. I'm going to cut like that. Okay? We're going to come across here, and we're going to kind of cut like this, okay? We're actually going to bring that top of that hat back a little bit. But you want to be careful, because it's, you know, see what we're doing here? Okay? You can actually take your knife and just basically do this with it. you're making small V cuts to get the brim, the bottom brim of the hat made. Okay? Okay. And then we're going to kind of go around it just a little bit. And we're going to come back up here on the top because we want to bring that brim forward just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. Just like that. We're going to kind of bring this up in here. Just kind of like that. And then we're going to sort of do this by bringing that brim out. Okay, we want to be careful. We sort of bring that forward a little bit. Just like that, see? See what I'm saying? So that allows us to kind of work on that brim a little bit. And bring that brim forward. Okay. And the top of the hat sort of curves down, is what I'm saying. Just sort of like this, in other words. And then we'll work the bottom of the brim, and we'll get more shape on that, in other words, as we do the head. So I think my time's up. So far what we have here now is a okay, just sort of like that, in other words. Okay? Alright, well listen, our time's up, and we'll continue this at another time. Okay. Ooh, old hand getting numb now on me a little bit. Yeah, because I'm making a lot of cuts here.